Hi, how are you guys doing today?
Great, how are you?
Beautiful. I'm here to introduce you guys to Pop's Kettle Corn. If you guys haven't had it yet, it's an awesome little business over in Muskego, Wisconsin. My dad started this back in 2009. You know how things, your dad starts, you kind of want to keep going, take it to the next level. So Pop's Kettle Corn started in 2009. It was an amazing little feat that my dad ended up having to do, mostly because he was fired from his job at 59 years old and needed to reinvent himself. Wow. Him and my mother basically went through and just had an amazing opportunity, tried about 50 different flavors, different recipes, and ended up making probably the world's best popcorn. Not gonna lie. It's my dad's, so I can say that. 2016, I was actually a teacher before this, came back into the US, I was abroad, loved what he was doing, but thought we could take it to a different level, and I just kind of jumped in, went all nuts on a brick and mortar store that we've got in Muskego, had a great opportunity there, continue to let it climb. Now we're just kind of going into the next season, which is now our own actual brick and mortar that we've basically made as a production shop. So we've grown from about $75,000 the first year to just over $800,000 last year. So significant growth within a very short time, but that also puts us in that predicament of how fast can you grow with that financial peer. So when it comes down to coming on board, having you guys love the different kind of feedback that we can get, anything, especially when it's small walkie, there's a lot of different things. We actually did one for the Admirals at one point, and we're really excited to see what we can do for the next one. So this is Pop's Kettle Corn coming out of Muskego.
How did you grow that fast?
Yes.
I mean, who's buying the kettle corn?
A lot of boots on the ground. I don't like to take no for an answer unless you tell me maybe about 15, 16 times, and then I'll kind of keep pursuing you a little bit more. But it's also the creativity. We're a very dynamic brand, so we try and find opportunities to make what I like to say the answers before you ask the questions. So when coming and presenting our stuff, you guys have a couple different bags here. We like to be very creative and want to bring that new style of popcorn to anything possible, and what we can do for not only just our community, but also for you guys as business owners. So if you look at these are kind of some of our creative bags. You've got one, I love that one. It was my idea to do a Mad Libs on the back. So it's our Valentine's Day bag, and what's better than saying Valentine's Day and Happy Valentine's Day? We don't need flowers.
So it's more than popcorn. Can you kind of describe your why a little bit, or your mission when?
Yeah, that's a great question, because our mission is really just to have fun with it. When it comes down to the Admirals and we want to have an experience, any experience that you have with the popcorn is a positive one. Think about it, you're sitting there watching a baseball game, you're watching the Admirals score, you're going out for a family time, that's the experience. So it's not necessarily the experience itself, it's the addition to, and then it becomes nostalgic. And now you want to put that to your customers, to your vendors, to anybody else when it comes to the end of the year.
You mentioned your dad founded the company 2009. Who's involved in the company today?
We have a plethora of people. We've got some amazing people, my wife included, who's a graphic designer. These bags are all graphic design. We have ideas that we get to have pillow talk with, so a lot of that, but also we've got a team of amazing people.
So sales have really accelerated. What about your margins?
Margins are good, except you're really doing a lot when it comes down to growth, and we're putting a lot of our money out there. So when it comes to any money coming in, we're about a 30% margin, so we're making about 70 on it, but a lot of that goes into our growth aspect. So although we have a great margin, I also have a great idea all the time in the creativity, and we've got to be very close with that budget.
Of your $800,000 in revenue, walk us through how that's allocated, how that's split up.
That's a great question. A lot of that revenue is going towards our expansion.
Okay.
So any extra cash flow that we've got, we always put into the new building. If we need a new piece of equipment, something that's going to help us when it comes down to productivity.
What's next in terms of how we can help you?
Something like Project Pitch It and all the local Wisconsin entrepreneurs that we can get connected with here, you learn every single time. So that's something that as we started to grow so fast, I had to refocus and bring it back down to what's going to make us sustainable for the next 10 years, 20 years, so on and so forth. Because it's been a great run so far. We don't want that run to end.
Are you making money from wholesale? Are you making
Yes.
enough money from wholesale to focus on that?
I would say yes, we are. And the reason why we really want to do wholesale is because wholesale itself, if I go direct to consumer and I don't have a space that I can actually sell to, I need somebody to be able to sell that so that we can move larger quantities. And there are a plethora of great businesses and popcorn companies themselves here in Milwaukee, so there's a lot. But I always tell my wife, she's always worried about that competition style. It's not competition, there's plenty of mouths to feed. And there are many different tastes for a lot of different people.
All right.
Very good.
Thank you so much.
Thank you guys very much. Appreciate
Thank
it.
you.
Thank you.
Thank
Great
you.
job.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.